Export Autocad DXF. We begin by typing in a file name. There are two methods of exporting DXFs. One is as per the current screen display, and the other is to use an Autocad description file. The as per configure DTM display and over display SPF function is the one most frequently used when the names of the layers into which each of the features goes is not critical. But it is important to note that if items are not switched on in the current display, then they will not be included in that export, which means that it's very important to make sure that everything you want to export is switched on. To this end, it might be worth your while setting everything that you are likely to want to export, and then creating a preset in Configure DTM Display. Which means that when you're editing the survey, you can go and change the display. But when it comes to exporting to DXF, you can change the display to the DXF export preset, and you're ready to go. Export Autocad DXF. Normally, you would just select the units and whether you want 2D or 3D output. But for purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to save an Autocad description file which will allow me to explain the layers that it has created in this process. Okay, it's created the file, and if I go back into the command and select edit, we can now view that automatically generated Autocad description file. I won't go through all the various commands that are included in this script file because they're explained fully in the help documentation, but what you can see are lines beginning with commands, and the important ones are the layer commands, and you will see that it has created layer names with associated layer color numbers. And what it has done by default is generated a unique layer name and placed each different feature code into that unique layer name. It uses the description for the feature, and if the description is duplicated elsewhere in the legend, then it will add on the feature code to make it unique. If we want to reproduce exactly that export with the same layer names, then we can use that Autocad description file again the next time we export this kind of survey. If we now open up that exported DXF file inside our Autocad viewer, we will see that it has exported text which describes the origin of the survey, and in this case the station coordinates, and all of the information that was included in the survey. If your survey includes surface features and they're switched on in Configure DTM Display, and you now choose to export the survey, and in your nominated Autocad viewer change the rendering from wireframe to one of the solid renders, then you will see that the surface features have come through with the DXF file. And you will see that by default the surface features will be placed at the DTM level, because in the export there is an option here to respect the DTM level for surface feature shading and height bands and triangles, or you can place them at 0 level, or indeed duplicate them, one at the DTM level and one at 0 level. The alternative method of exporting Autocad files is to use a Autocad description file, just like the one that we've looked at already. If you go into test data and then the ADF folder, you'll find a couple of example ones in there one of which is called LSS demo ADF, and if we edit that, you will see that it has the same structure as the automatically generated AutoCAD description file, but the difference here is that we've created this ourselves and we have started to use the grouping of features, and that means that, for example, we've got a building layer and we've included in that layer this feature, and this feature, and several others. Similarly, we have a street furniture layer into which we've included quite a lot of street furniture feature codes. Please have a look at the help documentation which explains how you would build up your own AutoCAD description file. There are several other options apart from the units and the output 2D, 3D. You can include terrain, non-terrain. You can add additional points by changing the conditioning tolerance for points along smoothed link features. You can change the text scaling in the AutoCAD file, together with a variety of other options. If you have over displayed section position files, then they can be included in the export as well. Please be aware though that with all of the export options, we're not just exporting what you can currently see on the screen, we will export the entire LSS survey.